Good evening, deal makers. It's a great day to make deals today, and I hope you had a great day today. Tonight, we're going to have a very, very interesting conversation with a good friend of mine. I've known her for a long time. But before I get to talking with our guest, I just wanted to kind of get a feel for how did your day went, right? How was your day? Now, for those of you who are watching, from watching on the replay, we have an amazing guest today. Please let me know where you're listening from, just to give me an idea who are listening to this daily show. But I've decided that this show will run daily every 6 p.m. Hopefully, I always have a guest during every 6 p.m. So you can already set your timers. Instead of watching Netflix or something else, you may want to learn from interesting people like tonight. My channel, I've dedicated my channel to learning about global stock market investing and real estate investing. And one of the challenges that I have found from some of my listeners or some of my followers, people who follow my book, etc., is that they like the idea. "Oh, Ronald, I like the idea of investing in real estate. I like the idea of investing in stocks. But my biggest challenge right now, especially during the pandemic, is cash flow. I don't have extra money to invest in stocks. I don't have extra money to invest in real estate. And I thought I thought up how can we solve that? And I feel that the best way to solve that is to add another stream of income, add a side hustle. And one of the side hustles that you can definitely add is to become a real estate agent. So we're going to talk about our guest for tonight is going to share about her experience, how she transitioned from being a chemical engineer. She was an ex-chemical engineer. Now she worked the production lines. We're going to talk about her experience later. And then she decided to quit her job and dive into real estate without a safety net. And she succeeded. And now I've known her for a very long time. And this is a person that I highly respect. And as one of the pillars of real estate, calls her his real estate crush. Did you see that comment, Eden? So, uh, Sir Noli Alye calls Eden his real estate crush. So, ever since she quit her job, she became a real estate investor, broker, appraiser, lecturer, and consultant. So, there are very, very few consultants here in the Philippines. I think she's one of the youngest. She's also a professor for real estate management for undergraduate students of DLSU-Benilde, LaSalle-Benilde, and iAcademy, and for postgraduate students of UP Open University. All right, so please help me welcome with a smash on the like button my guest for tonight, Professor Eden Dairit. Hi, Eden.
Hi, Ronald. Kumusta?
Very good, very good. You're looking very glamorous. Is that your like
Salamat.
normal teaching attire?
Yes, yes. Actually, added suit pa nga minsan, pero it's too hot. Kaya long
Right,
sleeves na
right.
lang.
Okay, okay. Well, one of the things I forgot to tell you, we'll try to conduct the interview in English because
Oh,
sometimes,
okay.
yes, because it's posted on YouTube and sometimes I get viewers from abroad.
Sure. Wow,
Sometimes
wide
they
reach.
are, yeah, sometimes they're spouses of, Filipino
Mm-hmm.
wives and all
Okay,
that.
that's
So
good.
let's try to accommodate them. But if you're watching, whether you're watching on the live stream or you're watching on the replay and you have questions in Filipino, that's okay. Feel free to post your questions in the chat box or in the comment box below. Ayan. So Eden,
Hello.
uh, let's start off with the usual question. Diba? I mentioned
Mm,
earlier you're an ex-chemical engineer. Can you give us an idea of what was your background before you got into real estate, especially for those who don't know you, and how old were you
mhm.
back then, and what prompted you to get into real estate?
Uh, Probably because I got burned out in my career as an engineer. It was a very high energy, high pressure environment. Uh, pero it's tiring as well.
Hmm.
So I guess that's one reason why I was exploring other career opportunities for me. I got into real estate uh, first because we wanted to purchase our own condo unit. And of course, we are negociantes, and uh, we want to save up on cash. We didn't have much cash then, so we thought that we can apply as real estate agents, and whatever commission that we receive will be rolled onto the purchase of the property. So we thought
Hmm.
that it was a good idea. I think that was way back 2006 or 2005, super super tagal na,
Yeah.
long way before I really dabbled into investing. So
Hmm.
I only got the courage to uh to attend the seminars. I think that was 2008, and
Hmm.
I already quit my job and I already knew what to do, but number one, I didn't have any money. Number two, not much money. I had savings as an engineer because it was a high paying job, but it was not enough to purchase real estate.
Hmm.
Uh, Not even to cover the down payment. Not even to cover the
Okay.
down payment, which is quite foolish of me. I wasn't really thinking back then, or I was really a high risk taker, and I
Hmm.
thought that I had that. I still have youth and energy by my side, so I can bounce back in case it doesn't work out.
Hmm.
So my first venture into real estate, aside from being an agent, which I only did.
Oh, all right. So I think Eden was cut off for some reason. We're going to wait for her to get into the stream, right? But in the meantime, now while we're waiting for Eden, maybe I just let's just listen, or maybe want to share some of my thoughts on some recent news that I have heard recently. One of the things that is related to real estate is the passing of the fist law. Okay, so if you're not familiar of the fist law, let me see what it stands for. Okay, the fist law is something like the SPAV law of the Special Purpose Vehicle Act of 2002, and that was the why is this important? Okay, it's very important because now if all right, so Eden is back. Let me get her back to the stream. Hi,
Mhm.
Eden.
Hello. Sorry, I had a technical difficulty.
Yes, welcome
Ayun,
back.
bigla na lang nawala.
Yeah, yeah.
Ayun.
Well, during the in the meantime, I was actually
Mm.
talking about the fist law. Are you familiar with that? Have you heard of it?
Okay. No.
Yeah, it's like
Enlighten
the
me.
new SPV, Special Purpose Vehicle Act. But
Okay.
if you remember, I just forget what the meaning of fist is. Pero,
Okay.
diba, like a lot of banks right now have high non-performing loans, and
Mm-hmm.
that's making it difficult for them to approve loans. I don't know if that's been your
Mm-hmm.
experience, but a few brokers that I've talked to say that that's their experience right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
First law. Okay. So this is
yeah,
fairly new.
yes, it's very new. It's really in response to this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
what that will do is the banks can spin off their
Mm-hmm.
non-performing assets, non-performing loans into a separate corporation to clean their books so that they can start lending again. And it's going
Okay.
to be good news. It's going to be great news for investors, um, making it easier for them to take in loans again. And although right now I don't think it's implemented yet, but I think it's already been passed into law. Yeah, so just need to
Okay.
wait for it. Yon,
Okay.
so
Need to do my
uh,
research.
so Just going back
Mm-hmm.
to your experience, right? You were talking about your experience of starting in real estate, not having enough
Mm-hmm.
savings back then,
Mm-hmm.
but diving into real estate.
I think the trigger really was attending Think Rich Pinoy seminar by Dr. Larry Gamboa. He was my first mentor in real estate, and that gave me the courage to dive, even if I didn't have that much resources on my own. Thinking that I have a mentor who will uh, who will be my guide throughout the process, and uh, and I'm glad it worked out. Yun na lang
All
masabi
right.
ko. I'm really glad it worked out because it was uh, blood, sweat, and tears during that time. Uh, Sleepless nights thinking where to get the amount for the down payment, thinking about deadlines, thinking about amortization, thinking about
Mhm.
finding a buyer fast for the property, finding investors fast.
Yeah.
It was a crazy ordeal for someone. I think I was 24 then. I was
Hmm.
24. Uh, Quite foolish, very foolish in the sense of um, taking unnecessary risks in order to accomplish the goal.
Hmm.
But I'm really glad that it worked out.
All right. Yeah, that's like adulting on steroids.
Yes, yes. I really wouldn't recommend anyone do that. Really, right now, especially right now, I really wouldn't recommend anyone do that. Uh, Although I can give a better advice now that I've experienced all these things that I've done, things that I
Mhm.
could have done better uh, if I knew what I knew now.
All right. Well, maybe let's lead into that. Knowing what you know
Mm-hmm.
now, what would you have done differently? How would you get into real estate, knowing what you know now?
Uh, I would have saved a lot more uh,
Mhm.
to at least come up with at least 50% down payment. I think I
Mhm.
learned that from another real estate investor.
Mhm.
And then uh, not, but we'll still use leverage of the bank loans and use the amount to maybe either cover for the renovation cost and also a lot for the marketing cost because everything we did then was guerrilla marketing. We didn't spend
Mhm.
much on the marketing at all, if at
Mhm.
all. So I would have saved a lot more. I would have started earlier as a real estate broker because even if I was a real estate agent in 2005, 2006, I only got my real estate broker's license in 2011.
Mhm.
And I wish I could have done that sooner because uh, being a real estate broker gives you a unique advantage in real estate investing because uh, if you are deep down on your knees in brokerage, you will have first crack of all the best properties, especially if you are the master of your focus area. So, baliktad eh. I started as a real estate investor and then became a real estate broker. But when I learned how to do brokering, first brokering my own properties, eventually, when I have mastered my chosen area, that is when we restarted investing again because these are the good deals that come to the market even before we put it out to the market because we are the ones who are assessing these, who are checking if these listings are worth the price, if the seller is motivated to sell, uh, if if these properties are worth investing in. Uh, those are the things that we consider uh, when we try to sell the property as a real estate broker and also as a real estate investor we when we invest properties.
All right. Well, there's a lot to unpack there. So
Mm-hmm.
let's start with the advantage or like your choice of starting as a real estate broker earlier, because right
Mm-hmm.
now it's a little bit different. Right back then it
Mm-hmm.
was easier.
Yes.
Right, it was way
Yes.
much easier to become a
Mm-hmm.
broker. So maybe someone right now who's watching, who's probably also a chemical engineer or maybe some other
Mm-hmm.
career, but he or she did not have Happy Women's Month, by the way. So he or she doesn't have the degree. So
Mm-hmm.
how would you recommend that they get started in real estate?
Uh, I recommend if you really want to pursue real estate, a real estate professional career, you can take the real estate management courses that are offered by different universities. There are a lot more universities that are offering this course than way back 3, 4 years ago. There are schools that are offering it on an accelerated uh, basis, meaning shorter term, they will accredit some of your units that you took in your undergraduate course.
Ah,
Some
nice.
require to take the entire 4 year course, but I
Mhm.
think that is becoming obsolete now. Now that a lot more schools are crediting units
Mhm.
from their undergraduate studies.
Mhm.
So
All right.
I really recommend you to do that. But even before you doing that, I suggest first you try to determine your focus area. Uh, you should. It can be uh, a small village or maybe the condo building that you're living in or uh, somewhere nearby that is convenient for you just to practice the principles of real estate, like maybe trying to get the price per square meter of the area, trying to get the zonal value, trying to get the rental rates, how what is the market, uh, what is the target market in your chosen area. So those little things that you can do even without the degree. But if you want to try to, if you really want to do this professionally, I really recommend you taking the course.
All right. Yes, yes. And maybe they can take the course in no, LaSalle-Benilde or iAcademy, so they can be your professor.
Students, yes,
Yes,
yes.
they.
I'm actually adding another school, but I'm not yet signed with them yet. So let's see.
All right. Ah, you really love teaching.
Oh yes, that is something that I think I can do until I'm old and gray.
All right. Well, that's very, very nice to hear
Mm,
that it's in your heart, no, it's your passion. So
mm,
for those who are, oh, well, you mentioned earlier that some schools um, will allow the accelerated path where they accredit your
mm-hmm.
units, which actually makes sense, right? Because especially if
Yes.
it's the same units anyway. Now,
Mm-hmm.
can you give us an idea which schools already do this? Does LaSalle Binil
Uh,
do this or other?
I think it's currently for LaSalle Benilde, you have to take the 4 year course.
Hmm.
I think not 4 years, but 3.5. I'm not familiar with
Yeah.
the number of semesters. Kasi. But
Yeah.
for iAcademy, I think it is 2 years. They
All
offer
right.
the undergraduate degree and also for the second courses, two
All
years.
right. All right. Well, that's good to hear. So if
Mm-hmm.
your iAcademy is in Makati area, right?
Yes.
Right.
And
All right.
if you really want to take it, I really suggest you take it now. You maximize the opportunity of taking the classes online because of the pandemic.
Oh yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't
It's
have to go
no.
there.
There's no. It
No
was traffic.
traffic.
Yeah, avoid the
Mm-hmm.
traffic. Yeah. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Yep. So that's very very good information. So because I hear a lot of people asking how they can become brokers, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely they can also start as real estate salespersons, right?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Uh, there are, you can also partner with an existing brokerage, for example, or a real estate broker that you know, and ask if they have a program within their brokerage where they can train you to become a real estate salesperson under their brokerage. So that is
Mhm.
also an option without taking the course. So it's
Right.
like a, uh, an easier way to get into real estate without fully committing yet.
Yet, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're not quite sure yet.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, tama. That's a very good suggestion.
So do you also have that like salesperson training in your brokerage company?
Yes, definitely. We do that.
All right, all right. Well, maybe we can invite anyone who's interested later towards the
Mm-hmm.
end. We'll let you know how you can sign up to that. No, it's one
Okay.
of the interesting things because Eden loves to teach. Two of our first guests in this live stream have actually gone under the program of Eden. So if you
Oh
remember
yes.
Rick Manzano and
Mm-hmm.
Rap Santos. So these guys
Yes.
are multi-awarded brokers. No, I've already
Mm-hmm.
interviewed them.
They
If you haven't,
are.
right? If you
They
haven't
even
seen,
surpassed me. They're
yeah,
really
the,
good.
stu-
They're
the
really good
students
brokers.
are now the masters now. So,
That's
but
good.
I would say that I think they owe a lot to your mentoring as well. And so,
Uh, I cannot take all the credit. I'd also give the credit to Vic Gamboa because he is the one who
mm,
held the helm of Remax TRP Realty back then.
all right, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe I need to get Vic scheduled already. So how do
Mm-hmm.
you train?
mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. All right. So maybe let's move on. You've already
Mm-hmm.
gave us an idea of what you would do differently, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned that um, you would probably become a broker earlier, and so maybe can you just give us the actual steps? You mentioned like partnering with a broker, choosing
Mm-hmm.
a focus area. How do you do
Mm-hmm.
that? Like how do you choose a focus area? How do you choose a broker to partner with? Like, do you have any recommended criteria for those?
You always go with your first center of influence, the people that you know, the people that you trust, even without checking their portfolio, because you trust them, because they also know you, even without a background yet. So that is really crucial in forming, in your formative years as a in your career as a real estate professional. There should be built-in trust because this is really a hard road to take. It's not that easy. It takes a lot of resilience. I think Rap shared his story that he even had to take a job as a call center agent even while he was doing brokerage while in Remax TRP just to pay uh, for the dues.
Hmm.
And that is the kind of grit, that is the kind of hard work that you have to take if you are just beginning. So you need someone you can trust, someone from your own circle, someone who will trust you well enough to train you to do this. So that is really paramount in succeeding. Get a mentor that you trust and who can trust you.
Hmm. And
Mhm.
get a mentor that's nearby. I would say
Preferably, yes.
preferably.
Maybe a mentor who is also focused on your project, on your prospect focus area.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Because then, well, I would think that's a really great suggestion because if your mentor is focusing on your area, then if you're
Mm,
starting out, you can start out by like selling his listings, helping him or
yes.
her, right, market
hmm
his listings, that learn
Yes.
on the job. All right, so it's
Yes, I
really
agree.
important.
Uh,
Uh,
if I may share my how I got into the ultra high end market. Uh, Before Remax, I didn't have the guts to even try to handle listings in Forbes or Dasma or Ayala Alabang. But when I saw that some of the associates, some of the owners in Remax are handling exactly those, I had the courage to reach out to friends of friends. I actually tried to uh, network just to get listings on my own outside of the brokerage initially, and that is when I got my very first listing. That it multiplies it, especially if you do a good job in your first listing. If you handle a listing, it is natural that you will get inquiries from other brokers who
Mhm.
has clients wants to purchase your property, or from the direct clients. So
Mhm.
if you can also convert those inquiries to your prospect buyers to find them a property that is not your original listing, then you are now in the game. So that is really how you start in any market. It may be in the 1 to 10 million range, or in the hundreds of millions range of properties. You only need one property to get in, and a good
Right, right.
mentor,
All right,
and the
all right.
courage, a lot of courage.
So you mentioned, I'm curious because you mentioned the ultra high end. What
Mhm.
price range are we talking about when you say ultra high end?
I believe over 100 million pesos, at least
Wow.
here in the Philippines.
Yes, yes. Over 100
Mhm.
million. And maybe just of course my brain is working say one hundred one
I know
hundred
what you're thinking
million.
of.
Right? You're
Yes,
able to
yes.
sell just one of that. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
it depends, right? There's no standard commission rate, but let's just
Mm-hmm.
say it's 3%. Then that's
Mm-hmm.
already, I guess, 3 million gross
Yes.
commission with just one property. So I think it's
Yes,
really a
that's right.
very, very smart move. But I would
Yes.
think that it's hard to get into that
Mm-hmm.
because obviously the level of people that you're dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
those that
Agree.
have 100 million, these are very smart with their money. Most likely, they're business
True.
owners and all that.
True.
How did you how did you prepare for that? How did you, I guess, deal with these
Mm-hmm.
kinds of people?
Individuals.
Yeah,
I
individuals.
believe my training as a real estate investor and my network as a real estate investor really helped a lot, because these are the individuals, the ones who invested before, the ones who uh, I remember uh, going into a consortium with a group of investors just to purchase one property in Tagaytay, because those are foreclosed properties from the city auction. So
Mhm.
we didn't have enough cash to purchase one property each, so we band together, and then we purchased one property. I think there were four of us, and these individuals are living inside Ayala Alabang. I think two of
Mhm.
them are, and one is a Filipino Chinese tycoon. So
Mm.
that is a very good market and network to begin with. So these are the individuals I tap initially if they have properties they want to sell or they want to buy. So,
Mhm.
and also, it trained me how to speak to these individuals as a real estate investor. So, they are always thinking about ROI, if the numbers make sense, if the property is a good buy. So, what makes it a good buy? So, I was, I became the individual who studies the market for them, because I didn't have anything else back then, except for a measly down payment amount. Uh, I I became the brains, the mastermind of the group. So that is how they viewed me before, and that is my only contribution then. So that image is still that is still my image to them now. I believe so. Even like yesterday, yesterday, that one individual investor contacted me because he wanted to purchase 43 unit apartment somewhere in the north. And that was what I was doing for them back then. So
Mhm.
even, oh my goodness, it has been 13 years now. So he
Yeah.
still remembers me as the one who can tell him if a property is a good buy or not.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm getting here is, well, number one, you don't really know how your experience will pan out, right? Because you
True.
started out as a real estate investor. Like what Steve Jobs said, no, you can't connect the dots moving forward. You can only uh, connect the
Look
dots
back. Mm-hmm.
looking back. So,
Mm-hmm.
but because one of the things that we mentioned earlier is that, you, if you're starting out, try to be, I guess, a broker earlier or an agent
Mm-hmm.
earlier. But apparently, being an investor is also a good idea. So,
Mm-hmm.
whatever
Why?
choice, diba?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever choice
True.
you may have,
Mm-hmm.
I guess even if you choose to be a broker or an agent first, it's a good idea to learn how to invest or be an investor. Like have
True.
that have that mindset so that you can deal right with these high net worth individuals. And
True.
so,
Although, if I may add to that also, some of the most successful real estate salespersons and brokers that I know started with Ayala Land Premier. They
okay.
experienced firsthand giving out flyers in the malls,
Mhm.
chasing individuals they know who can purchase, and
Mhm.
these are the same investors, clients that are now their VIP clients. So
Mhm.
you can start by offering them, for example, the projects of your developer, and then eventually, if you gain their trust, they will let you handle their other properties. So uh, starting in free selling projects is also a good idea
All right.
to
Yeah.
build your
And
network.
yeah, to build your network, to get
Mm-hmm.
started. Number one, because you get an allowance, right? If you, I don't know if all
Mm-hmm.
developers do that, but say
Mm-hmm.
if you
If you're
are,
in house, I believe.
if you're in house, yeah, if you're in house, at
Mm-hmm.
least you get an allowance. Helps you to transition. You won't have to be a
So,
part-time call center agent. But actually, Rap was not able to mention that. Thank you for.
okay. I think he shared that in one of our talks. We did a tandem talk before, and he shared that
Okay.
story.
Okay, okay. Well,
Mm-hmm.
he mentioned when he was starting out that on his first year he only earned 15,000 pesos. So
Mm-hmm.
now I forgot to ask, how did you like make up the difference? Because 15,000 is not enough for like
Oh.
even 2 or 3 months. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for pointing that out. That make that gives added dimension
Mm-hmm.
to the story.
How resilient he is.
Yes, so resilience is very important, but also the group that you're a part of.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the developer Ayala Land. I hope we
Premier,
can get
yes.
them as a sponsor in the show in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But
Good
no,
idea. Mm-hmm.
yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
other than Ayala Land, like, do you have any, I guess, developers that you know of, based on your experience, based on the network that you have? Would you recommend other developers as well, or which developers would you recommend that, say, a starting person join to learn
Mm-hmm.
more about real estate?
I can only speak from experience, and I
Yes.
started as a real estate agent in DMCI, and
Mhm.
I believe we gravitated towards that developer because we were the market that they were serving, and uh, since we are the market, we are also networked with the same market, so it is easier for us to sell properties, especially now that we bought a lot of properties within that area within the same developer. That is the best. That is actually the best selling point when you are trying to
Mhm.
convince a buyer to purchase in the area of your focus area, because I have a lot of properties here.
All right. Yeah. And when you
Mm-hmm.
mention you are the market,
Mm-hmm.
what market is this? This is the millennial
Starting
market, right?
families,
Starting families.
young families. Actually, the MCI market is mostly young families, maybe a husband and a wife or a small child and retirees because
Mhm.
those properties are mostly resort type developments.
All right, all right. Well, that's actually a good point that you mentioned. If you're part of the market, that would be,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can study, what's available,
Mm-hmm.
and join a developer that addresses your market. And
Mm-hmm. That's
I
right.
really love what you mentioned, because that means anyone can really
Mm-hmm.
enter
Oh
into
yes,
real estate,
definitely.
right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So you don't need to target ultra high end. Like if you're not that market, maybe if you're
Mm-hmm.
bold like Eden, you can,
A
uh,
risk taker again.
yeah,
But
try
this
to
time
do
not
that.
foolish.
Yeah, yes, because there's no money involved, right? So,
Mm,
but say you're not, you your whatever economic class you may be in.
mm,
Say maybe you're middle class, you're not so middle class, or you're upper middle class, or whatever. There is always a market. There's always a market
mm-hmm.
for you
True.
in real estate. And it's best that you connect to that market, because it's already, part of your network, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're the
And that is
first
how you
people.
sell.
That's how you
That
start,
is how you
right? That's
sell.
how you can
Yes.
sell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I am
That's
learning a
correct.
lot from this conversation with Professor Eden Dairit. And if you
Mm-hmm.
are learning as well, please make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, because this helps
Mm-hmm.
YouTube share this live stream, share this video to more people. So let's make sure to share this knowledge. Professor Eden is sharing this freely for us, and
Mm-hmm.
we can show your gratitude. We can show our gratitude by smashing the like button and maybe sharing this to a person whom you already know wants to get into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Ayan. It's Eden, that standard, like YouTube stuff. You have to
Oo nga.
encourage them to smash the like button. You always smash, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now,
I'm learning.
sometimes you mentioned that one of the things that you mentioned earlier, because real estate, you have to be resilient. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
So like last year, it was pandemic, um,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and probably not even before last year. Like, have you experienced periods where you didn't have any sales,
Mm-hmm.
and how do you deal with that?
That is where the importance of multiple streams of income comes in. You
Hmm.
shouldn't just rely on your income in brokerage because in reality that is not uh, that is not a regular income. You'll only earn a professional fee when you sell the property. So like right now, uh, even if I have, I think, 5 deals currently in the pipeline, meaning I've already received an offer, the documents are currently being processed, the professional fee is not yet due to us. And it has been, uh, I think my last deal was December. And that during that time, uh, I think what was sustaining me is my income from a previous investment and also income from teaching. So, and also a few more investments. If you don't have those and you don't have any income coming in, that is quite hard to manage. Especially in brokerage, you will also need to allot some cash for marketing. You are paying for the not only the marketing materials but also for the subscription. For example, in the online portals,
Hmm.
subscription to uh, your um, your emails for your emails for everything. If you're paying for your office, that is also added overhead cost. So yeah,
Yeah, you really need to have multiple streams of income. And I'm
yes.
curious, because you mentioned you're getting income from your investments. So what investments are
Mhm.
these?
Funny, because this is still not yet done. My very first real estate investment, aside from the the condo that we bought in
Mhm.
Taguig. Uh, Remember the property that I've been sharing again and again and again in the Think Rich Pinoy
Yes.
seminars, the
Yes.
Quezon City property. I'm still receiving income from that. It
All
is
right.
the 13th year. I think, tama, this is the 13th year, and uh, it is a 15-year period. So I'll continue receiving income until the 15th year. So that
All right.
is good money to have, uh,
Yeah.
e- regular income to have for the
All
meantime.
right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I guess 2 more years. Yeah.
Yes, 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think you also have other investments in your area rin naman, di ba?
Oh
That's
yes, rental income.
rentals.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Now,
all of the properties, thankfully, are rented out. Ay, hindi. Mayroon palang isang vacant na. Yeah, there's one unit that is vacant, but all of the other units are fully rented out, and those rental income are what's sustaining us.
all right. All right. And that's no for those who are no watching. Um, I hope you follow Eden's example, where no she even though she does brokerage, no, she also invested in real estate. But uh,
Mm-hmm,
she and her husband, right? So they
mm-hmm,
invested in real estate, and now they're earning rental income. So even during a time of crisis, during an
mm-hmm.
economic downturn, uh, rental income from real estate will still come in because still be renters, right? There will still
True.
be people renting, and so that's why real estate is one of the, I guess, if not the best, no, one of the best investments that anyone can make. So if you haven't started, make sure to study how to invest in real estate.
Actually,
And all
couldn't
right,
say
so
it better.
okay, so what's your biggest challenge right now, and like how do you plan to overcome it? At least in your real estate career.
Hmm. Right now, it's a transition period for me
Mm,
because I'm closing down one of my businesses,
mhm,
at least temporarily,
mhm,
and and my trusted staff is moving forward to another job. So
mhm.
I am currently choosing. I don't know yet if I will hire someone again to do that, the job that she's doing. But I will maybe try to rehash everything, my system, and try to reorganize first before hiring a new personnel. So
Mhm.
that is my biggest challenge, at least for the month of March to April, because end of March is the time of closing down my other business, and also the time that is the last day of my EA.
Oh, executive assistant. Yay.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So
Hmm.
when you mentioned closing down the business, what business is this? Is this
The
the bookstore?
bookstore. Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't survive the pandemic, but uh, primarily because of uh, uh, the shift in the uh, market, because it's still a brick and mortar business, and we were
Yes.
still counting on the uh, market to still purchase books on in the store, but we really cannot cope with the market of the publishers selling on their own, because they have a portal of their own. So even if we have our own online portal, these some of these students, um, they ate up our market share. So
Right,
that is quite sad for us, but we have to face that reality, and
right,
we have
right.
to pivot if we want to survive. We are still actually uh, trying to go online. The physical store is closing down, but we will still sell online. At least we don't have that much overhead anymore.
Right, right. Yeah, well, I have a little experience. I've been
Mm-hmm.
selling some of our old books in Carousel, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can consider doing that. But of course, that's
Mm-hmm.
yours is a way different challenge because you have more books in inventory.
Yes,
So and
mostly textbooks, university
and mostly
textbooks.
textbooks. Yes, yes. So that's going to be a different challenge for
Mm-hmm.
you. Well, thank you for sharing that. So even so,
Welcome.
I guess for our dear viewers, it doesn't mean that if you have experienced a level of success, that the challenges
Mm-hmm.
stop. The challenges always there's always
Oh yes.
challenge everywhere, And
Sure.
if you have any questions, for our guest, please feel free to type in our chat box so that we can ask Professor Eden and let us know, ask for her insights. It's not it's not every time that you get Eden's full attention. Sometimes you need to enroll to her classes. So
Yes.
while
Mhm.
she's here, ask her, diba? So one of the things that is challenging with being a broker or even a business owner is that now that you are your own boss, right?
Mhm.
There's no one motivating you, no one telling you what to do.
Mm-mm.
Um, how do you motivate yourself?
Uh, it's funny you ask that question because my main motivation uh, every single night is to make sure that my EA has work to do the following day. So I need
Mhm.
to make sure what tasks needs to be done. Actually, I'm not very consistent at it, but she has the initiative to remind me every single time what needs to be done, and that is really what motivates me to make sure that everything is working, even if I am not fully attending to it. Uh, and that is her role as as my EA. So that is really what is motivating me, at least in brokerage. At least in
Right.
brokerage. But in my other world right now is in teaching. I
Mhm.
believe seeing the students asking a lot of questions during class, uh, reading the materials, submitting papers that are very insightful. For example, uh, these these students really motivate me to be better at what I do because they are our future, as cliche
Mhm.
as it may sound, and it is uh, really filling my heart with pride, knowing that I am making a difference to the lives of these individuals who are future real estate professionals. So, in my own little way, that will be my legacy in the real estate world in the Philippines.
All right. Well, thank you, for doing that, for teaching, the next generation to
Mm,
become more professional, real estate practitioners. We definitely need that, in our
mhm.
industry. Ayan. Oh, okay. So in your career, maybe can you give us an idea what are some of the resources? What are some of the best resources that you
Mhm.
use, in your real estate business? And yeah, how do these resources help you?
Resources. Good question. Because I have made my own training materials already, and uh, I have my own. When I began, I believe uh, the books that started me into real estate investing are really Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I
Mhm.
think that is a real estate Bible for most of us investors. For real estate brokers, I believe that is Gary Keller's Millionaire Real Estate Investor. I forgot the title.
Mhm.
Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Millionaire Real
Mhm.
Estate Agent.
Mhm.
That is a very good resource material. For appraisal, oh no, I forgot the author, but I have it in my bedside because I use that a lot. And uh, mostly as a real estate professional, you have to um, you have to always sharpen the saw by learning from other individuals who have more experience than you, and those are your main source of information. Like for example, I'm always teaching how to value a property. There are a lot of ways, like for example, how to get the zonal value of a property, how to get comparable listings so that those are available online, which sites should you go to get these comparable listings, which sites should you not consider. So these came from my own experience, and also from the cumulative experience of uh, other brokers that I look up to. So it is a collaborative effort of a lot of individuals. So I think to shorten it, uh, aside from the books, aside from the materials that can be sourced online, uh, really look into mentors uh, who can be your source of information.
All right, all right. Well, since you mentioned mentors, like who have been your
Mhm.
top three mentors in real estate?
Hmm, that's hard. Definitely, Dr. Larry Gamboa, number one.
Okay,
Uh, second, 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 I believe uh, second is Mr. Alieje, because he really inspired me not only to go into real estate investing, but also to work the seminar circuit. We were we always see each other, sometimes going back to back during seminars, even inviting each other in some of our talks. So he not only was my uh, my inspiration, my mentor in real estate investing, but also in speaking. And finally, I'd say my mentor in real estate consultancy, uh, uh, consultant Canlas. Uh, she she's very bright. She has this wealth of experience that uh, when I reviewed for the consultancy exam, I really had no idea at all. And to begin with, but when during the classes, I realized that I already experienced some of the things that she was teaching, and I only need to learn how to tap the, at least during that time, 10, 12 years worth of real estate experience, and that is part of the consultancy career. So there. So those are three mentors that I really look
three
up to.
mentors. Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just for the benefit of those who don't know about the different careers, because you have
Mm-hmm.
multiple competencies in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You are a real estate investor, real estate
Mm-hmm.
broker, appraiser, and now consultant. Can you give us an idea of like what are the differences and uh, like what are the requirements to get into each of these?
Okay. As a real estate, you start sa PR in PRC. For you to become a real estate professional, there are four career paths. Actually five. You can be a real estate salesperson, where you can take a certain number of CPD units, and then you can accredit yours. You can submit your accreditation under a real estate broker to PRC with specific requirements that you can find at the PRC website, and you can practice as a real estate salesperson. As a real estate broker, you need to take the real estate management course and successfully pass the real estate broker's licensure exam.
Mhm.
Uh, for the appraiser, uh, before you need to have 5 years experience as a broker, but right now you can take the real estate appraisal exam concurrently with the broker's exam. So same, you need to take the CPD units, and you have to have the real estate management course. I believe right now. I need we need to confirm that, because that we
Mm.
are currently on the bridge in that aspect. And same with the real estate consultant. Uh, at least you must have at least 10 years worth of real estate brokerage experience, or 5 years worth of appraisal experience, professional appraisal experience, before you can take the appraisal consultancy exam after a certain number of CPD units again. But
Okay.
what's special about consultancy is that it is a two-part, uh, not only exam, but also a revalida. You need to prepare a project feasibility study that you have to present to a panel who are uh, uh, the PRC chairperson, PRC head. I think at least three or four individuals, and you need to also successfully uh, show them your competency in presenting your PFS, the project feasibility study. And
Okay.
finally, as a lecturer, you can also submit. I think at least you must have. I forgot already, at least 10 years speaking
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
real estate field. And I'm very thankful to Dr. Larry Gamboa, who pushed me to the limelight early on. Even if I had no prior experience then, that was my motivation actually to join Toastmasters. Would you believe my very first talk, not really talk, but very first interview was with ANC Shop Talk with Pion Taventos.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know how serious she is, how good
Yes.
she is of an interviewer. And I really thought that I bombed that interview. And I, I I stammered, I paused, I couldn't even utter complete sentences in her
Mhm.
presence during that time because I was a newbie. I think that was I only had one property, one investment that time, and I was considered a newbie because I was just 3 months or 4 months into the game, and then she
Mhm.
interviewed me live on TV. So I'm really thankful to Dr. Gamboa for pushing me early on in the limelight. I didn't know that I had a passion for that, and it is something that I built my career on.
All right. All right. So you actually have multiple careers in real
Hmm.
estate. I think you've spanned everything, right?
I
You're
believe so. Yes,
yeah,
yes. Hmm.
you already have that. And well, that tells me that you are secure whatever happens in the market because you have a lot of skills that you can bank on. Yeah, so yeah,
Hmm.
whatever happens in the
Hmm.
market. Right. So,
Hmm.
but I commend you. You're uh, very diligent. In learning, in studying,
Hmm.
and making yourself better. You're a very great example. To the next, especially to the students that you are
Hmm.
mentoring. So, looking forward to more people like you. I hope that they get inspired, to follow your example. Right. So,
Thank you.
uh, well, before we end, I hope that you guys learned a lot, from this interview with Professor Eden Diary. Please make sure again to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, please also subscribe. Click the notification bell button so that you'll be notified whenever we have interesting interviews, with interesting
Hmm.
people, and so that you can also learn about the other topics that I talk about on the channel: global stock market investing, real estate investing, and freelancing. And my final question, for two last
Hmm.
two questions before I ask the final question. If they want to say do deals with you, or say they want to get you as a broker, either for buying a property or for selling their own property, how can they reach you?
I have my own website, edendayrit.com. You can also reach me through socials, Eden Dayrit on Facebook. I also have a Facebook page where you can reach me. LinkedIn is also up. Uh, yeah, you can reach me through those channels.
All right. So I'm posting here
Thank
edendiret.com.
you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On your website, can they also find the links to your social media accounts?
They should be. They should, yes.
All right.
I'll check. I'll check. Definitely,
So,
yes. Mhm.
okay, so make sure that before
Oo nga.
your EA ends her ends her
She
stint
gives me
in
all the
March,
passwords.
yes,
True.
add her. Yeah, and also ask her to add all of your social media channels there.
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah, I think there are my social media. Yes.
Okay, okay. All right. And then I guess my final
Mm.
question, I think you've already answered this in a way, during the
Mm-hmm.
interview, but one of the interests, of my channel is preparing for retirement. Yeah, the reason why we
Mm-hmm.
invest is, so that we can have a comfortable retirement. So how about you, Professor Eden? How are you preparing for your retirement?
You should have a goal, at least as simple as how much monthly income should you receive even without actively working for it. That was my initial goal then. And I semi retired. Uh, I think that was 5 or 6 years ago because we reached that goal initially until we decided to go full time into real estate investing. And we realized that goal wasn't enough if we want to build our own family. So that at least to have we should have at least double that money goal, the nest egg. So uh, we also chose to set a goal of purchasing one real estate per year to have to build on that nest egg, so that by the time we retire, we can live comfortably. And I really suggest for those watching and listening, uh, if you are now in the real estate profession, you are in a unique position where you have first dibs. You have free access to the best properties that you can invest on, and do as we did. I really suggest you purchase your own real estate. If you cannot yet, at least you save up on the down payment and leverage on the bank loans.
Mhm.
You should start somewhere and not be disheartened uh, that you are not saving enough, that you are not making that much sales income, because eventually you will, and you have to have already the discipline of saving, even if you didn't have that much income when you were beginning. So there, I believe you develop the discipline of saving up until you can purchase property, and then use the bank as leverage. And then when you have a portfolio of properties, then you can, parang sa Monopoly, in Monopoly, you can do
Right,
bigger deals, and that
right.
is what we are doing right now. So we can already purchase properties cash, and make a lot more uh, leeway income, because we have more room for negotiation if you purchase properties cash. So you have to start somewhere, and
Yes.
saving up and uh, getting yourself exposed in the market is the best way to really know the market and purchase your own real estate in the future.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for those words of wisdom. That we actually got a lot out of that. So, guys, I hope you follow that advice. Save up, get involved in the market. Especially right now. Now is the best time, to get into the market while there are a lot of deals out
It is a
there.
buyer's
Or
market.
it is a buyer's market. Or if you're not yet ready, then at the very least consider becoming a real estate agent, whether a
Hmm.
salesperson or a broker. Take the steps, increase your income so that you can get into investing and preparing for your future right away. So again, thank you very much, Eden, for gracing us with your wisdom, with your presence. I hope that we can still invite you in the future. Let's talk more about real estate, and God bless in all your adventures and all your ventures as well.
Thank you, Rana. Thank you for inviting me. I had fun.
All right. All right. Thank you. Please stay in the background while I
Okay.
quickly close the program. So, with that, I hope that you learned a lot from our guest tonight. If you haven't done so, again, please make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. That helps the channel grow. And maybe you can also visit edendirect.com if you have any questions, they want to reach out to her. That's the best way, to reach Professor Eden. And if you have those ideas of people whom you want me to interview, let me know in the chat or in the comments. I guess it's better to do that in the comment section. And I hope that, like what Eden said, get involved in the market. Now is the best time to do that. And I hope that you start making deals. And I hope that all of your deals will push through. So see you on our next interview and see you on our next videos. Bye bye.